The Russia-Ukraine war's roots stretch back centuries, shaped by shared origins and bitter disputes. Kiev, Ukraine's capital, was once the cradle of Slavic civilization, claimed by both nations as their own. For Russia, this history means unity. For Ukraine, it's a story of struggle for independence from Russian and Soviet domination. The Soviet Union's collapse in 1991 gave Ukraine a chance to chart its own course, and its people overwhelmingly chose independence. Ukraine's westward turn, seeking ties with the EU and NATO, was seen as a path to democracy and security. Moscow, under Vladimir Putin, viewed this as a threat, insisting that Ukraine remain in Russia's sphere of influence. Russia saw Ukraine's Western alignment as a hostile act, not self-determination. This clash, Ukraine's right to choose versus Russia's security fears, set the stage for conflict. Tensions exploded in 2013 to 2014, when Ukraine's pro-Russian president rejected an EU deal, sparking the Maidan Revolution. Ukrainians demanded a European future. The president fled, and Russia saw this as a Western-backed coup. For Ukraine, it was a victory for democracy. For Russia, it was the final straw. The stage was set for confrontation. After the Maidan Revolution, Russia swiftly seized Crimea, citing protection of ethnic Russians. The annexation, condemned globally, broke international law and set a dangerous precedent. In eastern Ukraine, Russian-backed separatists ignited war in Donbass, leading to years of bloody stalemate. Despite ongoing conflict, few expected a full-scale invasion. But on February 24, 2022, Russia launched a massive assault, aiming to topple Ukraine's government and block NATO ties. Moscow underestimated Ukraine's resolve and military reform since 2014. The invasion's initial shock gave way to fierce resistance. Ukrainian resistance stunned the world, from soldiers to civilians defending their homeland. President Zelensky's defiance inspired global admiration and rallied support. Millions fled, creating Europe's largest refugee crisis since World War II. Western nations responded with sweeping sanctions and unprecedented military aid. Advanced weapons helped Ukraine repel Russian advances and reclaim territory. The war revitalized NATO, uniting the alliance and prompting Finland and Sweden to join. NATO bolstered its eastern flank, directly countering Russian aggression. Ukraine's fight became a symbol of sovereignty and international law. Western unity grew stronger even as the war dragged on. The conflict's outcome would reshape Europe's security landscape. The war's shockwaves hit global energy and food markets, fueling inflation and hardship worldwide. Europe scrambled to replace Russian gas. Developing nations faced food shortages as Ukrainian exports stalled. On the battlefield, the war became a grinding stalemate, with both sides entrenched and casualties mounting. Fears of escalation persist, with nuclear threats and the risk of NATO involvement ever present. Yet direct confrontation remains unlikely. Deterrence and caution prevail. The war tests the post-Wenu order, challenging the idea that borders can't be changed by force. Its outcome will define global security and the rules of international conduct for years to come. The world watches, knowing the stakes reach far beyond Ukraine. The future of the international order hangs in the balance.